Hey everybody, today we are just going to do a quick intro to React. I'm going to show you how to make a React app using the Create React App utility. So what Create React App is it's a node package that you can use that helps alleviate some of the stress that comes with setting up a React application, because when you have to just set up a React application from scratch, it's a big pain in the butt. So Create React App is really nice because you don't have to spend an hour configuring Webpack or doing some other crazy stuff just to get something to appear on the screen. So what we're gonna do real quick is I already have Node installed, so you need Node. So if you don't know if you have Node or not, you can hit node -- version, and no, that's not how you do it. Node -v. There we go. It's node -v, not -- version. So we know we have Node, and then you're also going to need npm. It's called Node Package Manager, comes with Node, so you're also going to need that. So just to make sure you have both those installed, you can run those commands. Don't be scared of the command line. It's not that difficult. There's like 6 commands you really need to know how to get around in. So, and I'll show you them right now. So real quick, we need to go ls, list the current directory you're in, the contents of the current directory. You go print working directory, pwd, if you ever want to figure out where you are. And then you can hit ls to see what's inside the folder you're in, and then you can hit cd to change directories. So we're going to go to documents. So if I type doc and then hit tab, it auto completes for me. So now we're in documents, so I'm going to do that again. I'm going to cd into my dev folder, or actually my we'll do dev. So I'm going to cd into that, and then I'll cd into my JS folder. So now inside my JS folder, I'm going to actually create the application. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just run create. If I didn't have Create React App installed already, what I would run is npm install Create React App. That's exactly what you would type in if you needed to install Create React App. If you don't want to install it, you don't necessarily have to. You can do is npx, which comes with npm also. You can do npx create React app, and then I don't know if we need npx actually now that since I have it installed globally. So create React app, and then we just do the directory. Actually, I think I was wrong before. I think it would be npm install -g for globally if you want to install it globally, so it's accessible anywhere from your computer. So if I install, I don't remember if I did last time or not. So if I installed it globally, I should be able to just call create React app, and then go, I'll just name it intro. This is going to be the name of the folder that it creates, to React, and I'll hit enter. And yep, okay, so I do have it installed globally. That's why I was able to just call create React app. So, and then it's going to create this folder. So now it's just pulling down a whole bunch of resources that we need, and it's making that folder called intro to React. And it's really nice because it's just putting it, before you had to configure all this stuff in Webpack and stuff. I never actually did it, but apparently it was a big pain in the butt, and it seemed like it from the research I did before I came across Create React App. So this usually takes, a little bit of time to do. I might fast forward the video here. All right, so now we have it all built, and I didn't see any big no errors. So now I'll hit ls again, and there's our folder right there, intro to React. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cd change directories into intro. I'm just gonna type intro, and then I'm gonna hit tab to complete it. Hit enter, and now we're inside of our intro to React app. So I can hit ls. These are all the all the files and folders that Create React App made for us, which is really nice. So a couple to pay attention to. One is this node modules folder that'll come back later. Package.json is another one to pay attention to, and then public is where our public HTML lives, which we won't really touch too much. And then there's our source folder, which is where all our code is going to go. So I'm going to open up all of these in VS Code by typing code dot, and it's going to open up a brand new VS Code instance. And see, now we have all our folders here. We'll just go through package.json real quick, and then I'll show you all these other ones, and I'll give you a quick tour, and then that's it for this video. So The package.json is an important file. It's a JSON file, and it basically lists part of it, this dependencies property. It lists all the dependencies for our application. So right now we only have 3 dependencies, but we can add more depending on what we want to use inside of our app. So, but Create React app gives us these ones from the beginning. So we're importing React. We're not importing it, but our app is dependent on React. It's dependent on React DOM, which we need to render React to the DOM for the web. If it was React Native, this would be like React Native or something. I'm not sure exactly what it's called. And then there's React scripts. So React scripts is what's used for running the scripts and starting servers, it looks like. I'll explain that in a second. So inside of our app, we have our index.html. Inside of our public folder, we have index.html, and this is just our basic HTML. This is the only HTML our website really has that isn't generated by JavaScript. And the thing to pay attention to is this div with an ID of root. It's really our only element. The rest of this is just kind of other stuff, these meta tags and all that. But this is where our application is going to live inside of this div element. So where is that exactly? It's right here. So we're going to go to index.js, and what index.js is doing is we are importing React, the React module, from that node modules folder. Remember the node modules folder I mentioned before, where it's right here? So we are importing React. What this does is we say import, whatever you import, I want to call it React. We're just assigning it a variable name called React, and then it's from, and then this React module. When you don't have a period and a slash there to signify that it's a file path, it just looks in the node modules folder, and there it's going to find a React instance that was downloaded by Create React app. That's what's so great, is it sets up so much stuff for us already. We're also going to do that with React DOM, getting it from the React DOM module, and then we're just importing some CSS. This is the default CSS. We are importing this app.js, which is here. This is what actually renders our component, and I'll show you what the component looks like in a second once we render it. But basically, we're getting that app component, that root element. So the only thing this whole script is calling right now is just React DOM, which we grabbed from the node modules, and we're calling a render function on it. And the render function takes 2 arguments. It takes the component that you want to render, and then it takes where you want to render it. And so right here, this document.getElement by ID root is targeting our div with the ID of root. So that's what this is. Everything in our app is going to go through this function and be rendered inside of this div. So what's React doing exactly here? It is looking for, okay, I need a component called app, which I imported here. Okay, where is that? Oh, it's in here, /app. This could also be app.js. You don't have to put the file extension on it though, so it knows to find it, but this is exactly what it's looking for. So we go into app.js. What is this? This is a class component. We'll get into that later, what the different types of components you are, but for right now, it's just a component. Just know that. And because it's a class component, it needs a render function. And so each component returns the HTML that it needs to render, but class components need an extra render function that then returns from the render function the HTML. It's just an extra step, and there's a reason you have to do it, and we'll go over that later. But inside of here, we just have, it's really not that bad. It looks a little scary at first, it can, but if you really look at it, it's not that bad. It's just a couple HTML tags. You use class name to specify classes instead of just class, because class is a reserved word. So we're gonna go class name, and so this will put the class of app on our HTML. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit Command tilde. And what's nice about the VS Code in the terminal inside of VS Code is that we're already in the directory I was in before. So I can do ls, see it still does the same folders as was in the other terminal. And then what I can do is I can go npm start. And what this is going to do is it's going to start a server for us. And what it actually did is I did npm, and then what it actually checks for is the package.json. See, we have our scripts here. So npm was smart enough to know to look inside of the package.json, look at the scripts, and it saw, oh, there's one called start. So when I did start, it actually ran React script start. So that's how that kind of works there on the package.json. So that's what it was referring to when I hit npm start. That's how it knew to start a server. Or it actually called React scripts start, and that's why we need React scripts. So this is the app we get. This is the boilerplate app that Create React App made for us. And it's kind of cool. It's got this mini logo and everything. It's real nice. So let me inspect this real quick, and I'll just show you real quick the. So you'll see that div with the class of app. So we have our div with the class of root that everything's inside of, and then remember the class name app that was in this app.js has now been composed into a div with a class of app. So that's just a real quick thing to remember about class name. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to delete all of this. We don't need any of it. We're just going to keep the root div with the class name of app. I'm going to get rid of this logo because we don't need it. This is the React logo that's spinning. We don't need that anymore because we're not even rendering it. I'm also going to, we're not going to touch that. Don't save any changes I made to that. And then in here, we're going to leave all this stuff. The service worker doesn't really do anything, but what's nice about Create React App is that out of the box, it makes it so that it meets all the requirements for having a progressive web app. You can look up progressive web apps if you don't know what that is, but basically it's a way, like, now we're getting towards, instead of having mobile applications and websites, the website is the mobile application, and it runs just as well on the phone, and it feels like a mobile application. But service workers are part of that, of building progressive web apps for offline functionality. So that's it for this, and so I'll just do a quick h1, and then we'll just put hello world. And we're excited about it. So I'm going to save that. It's going to re-render, and now we get hello world. We're also going to, real right quick before we're done, I'm going to delete all of the boilerplate CSS2 that was in there. So our app.js is importing app CSS that's here that we just deleted. So now it's completely unstyled and it's just rendering an h1 to that side. That's it for this video, guys. Please subscribe, like, all that fun stuff. I will see you next time.